Everybody said they want to be successful, but they aren't really trying to do what it takes. They don't like to feel uncomfortable. They like to skip the struggle part. They like to skip over the sacrifice part. But as I reflect on my life, one of the biggest sacrifices I had to make to date was choosing to leave my daughter when she was only 6 months old. I was living in Florida at the time, and I gassed up my car. I drove from Florida to Los Angeles. It took me 3 days by myself because my girlfriends chickened out, but I knew I'd rather die. I would rather die than live my life just working a 9 to 5 and spend the best years of my life working for somebody else. So when my mom died, it caused me to have a paradigm shift, and I wanted a better life for my child than what my mom gave to me. And I didn't know what would happen once I gassed up my car and drove to LA, but I knew what would happen if I stayed right there in Orlando, Florida. I knew what would happen because I was surrounded by those people who chose to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their life, and I didn't want that for my daughter. So it was the hardest decision I made, but I knew I wouldn't have to worry. I would miss her like crazy, but I knew she was well taken care of by my family and her side of the family. And that drive to LA really, it changed my life. But I had to have the balls enough to do it, and then the heart enough to stay in LA until something popped for me, until something happened for me, because I know if I went back home empty-handed, then what the naysayers were saying and what the haters were saying would have been true. I remember them telling me, you know, you're a deadbeat mom. What kind of mom would leave their child behind while they go to LA to pursue a dream of modeling and acting? And I was superficial and shallow. And you know what? You cannot allow other people to judge you based on their capacity. I knew what kind of life I wanted. I knew what kind of life I wanted for my daughter as well. And I knew that I could not have it by staying in my same situation. So I was willing to do whatever it took, and I was willing to risk whatever it took. And I wanted to make those moves while my daughter was young enough to not remember mommy wasn't there those 2 years. And the day I left, I remember telling her bye. She didn't even know what was going on, but I didn't know when I was going to see her again. I didn't know when I would make it back. I had $500 to my name. $300 I would have to use for gas after I did the calculations online. So I had $200 to make it happen. And most people, $200, they wouldn't dare pack up and move somewhere where they never been before with $200. To me, that was $200 to make it happen. As I look back on my life, I thank God that I didn't chicken out that day when my girlfriends chickened out and backed out and was trying to talk rational to me. I know what rational gets you. Rational gets you a mediocre life. Rational gets you 40, 40, 40. 40 hours a week working for somebody else for 40 years to retire on 40% of your pay. That to me is ludicrous. That to me is absolutely insane. I had my first job at 15. From the age 15 to 21, I did everything. I was selling cinnamon glazed peanuts. Anybody? Cinnamon glazed peanuts. In the basketball arena, I was selling customers, doing all type of customer service jobs, selling stuff. I remember working for Sprint, AT&T, ADT alarm systems. I remember working at Ross, you know, dress for less stores. I remember working at Winn-Dixie as a cashier. I remember working at my college in the fire EMT department. I had a lot of jobs from age 15 to 21. But at 21, I said no more. I would rather be dead in the dirt than live my life like this. That's not a life. That's not a life. To get 2 weeks off a year and 2 days off a week out of your own life is crazy. Nobody ever questions this. It's now been 12 years since I've had to clock in for anybody else, and wow. I always think about, what if I listened to those people who told me I was crazy for driving to LA? What if I listened to those people who told me I was a deadbeat mother? What if I run back because I didn't want to, I guess, prove them right? What if I listened? What if I gave up on my dream? What if I took down my goal board when my friend saw it and told me all those things were far-fetched? I would have been the same place where they are now. You know where they are now? In the same place. The same exact place from 12 years ago. So the message today is just take risks, people. Like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is you're gonna die. Newsflash, you're gonna die anyway, so you might as well die trying to live the ideal life that you wanted. As a kid, I used to see all these people living these amazing lives on TV, and when other people around me thought it wasn't attainable, I used to think, why not me? So why not you? I swear you can have whatever you wanted. Whatever you want, you can really have whatever you want if you really put your mind to it. My parents sent me to Jamaica when I was 6 years old because they divorced, and my mom suffered from depression, so she couldn't really take care of us 10 kids. Jamaica was no walk in the park. I remember using outhouses. I remember at first we didn't have a kitchen sink. I remember, we didn't have hot water for 8 years. For the 8 years I lived out there. No washing machine dryers. We used to wash our clothes by hand, even at 10 years old, and hang them out to dry, and iron our own clothes as kids. And no dishwashers, no all these modern luxuries that Americans have. It was none of that. So maybe that is what instilled that resilience in me and that go-getter mentality in me. I just don't accept no for an answer. So today it's been 12 years since I've had to work, and I'm blessed, y'all. I am so blessed. When I look back at my life, it makes me just want to cry because given my circumstances, I should not be where I am today. I just thank God for putting those mentors in my life. All those times he did. Sometimes it was for a week, sometimes it was a day, sometimes it was money they gave me, or a book to read, or a bed to crash on. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people, women in particular, because if anybody knows a struggle, it's me. And not to say struggles aren't ahead of me, but I came a long way, and I'm just excited about helping others cut down their journey in half the time. You don't have to learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from mine. You can learn from mentors. You can learn from books. And the key is to become financially free, y'all. While you still have time, become financially free. Reach out to me and just let me know your goals, and I'll let you know how I can assist you. I spent most of my adult life just studying, really. I stopped watching TV 12 years ago, and I just started reading books and listening to audiobooks and going to seminars. So I am a student of success. So reach out to me if you feel stuck, or if you feel alone, or if you know where you want to go but just don't know how to get there. Then I can help you. I can help you. So that's what I just wanted to say today. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices, and there's no guarantee that things will work out, but you got to keep trying and trying and trying. You know how many times I failed? So many times I cannot count. I failed at a lot of things, but it's in failure, that's when you find what you're good at. So don't be afraid to take risk, and don't be afraid to sacrifice. You will never be successful if you aren't willing to sacrifice. They say if you don't make a sacrifice for what you want, then what you want will become the sacrifice. So this is Paige on this beautiful day in Atlanta, Georgia. I just had that on my heart for you all today. So don't be afraid of the struggle. Don't be afraid of the struggle. The struggle is a part of the process. If you get nothing else from this message, get that. The struggle is a part of the process. You cannot skip over the struggle part and expect to become successful. Every single person who has become successful in something, trust me, they failed at a lot of things before then. So take risks, make sacrifices, and don't skip the struggle. Reach out to me, ilovebaje@gmail.com, ilovebaje@gmail.com, and subscribe to this channel and subscribe to The Goal Group, my company, TheGoalGroupInc.com, TheGoalGroupInc.com. Let me pay attention to this road. Love y'all.